One of the common things that I hear in the battle with food and emotional eating is I think about food constantly. I'm obsessed with it. I'm thinking about it all the time. I finish eating and I'm thinking about it. And there's something that is triggered in your brain that causes you to have almost compulsive thoughts about food. And there's actually two different processes that explain it, that take place inside of your brain that release chemicals and hormones that create this obsessive thinking. The first is when your brain goes into a famine or starvation situation. It's when you may be dieting, when you may be eating too few carbs, when you may be eating too few calories, when you may be eating too few proteins, or you may not be getting enough amino acids. And what happens is your body is designed for balance. It's supposed to always feel good. And if you're depriving it of the things that it needs, it will trigger a response to try and get itself back to where it's supposed to naturally be. So it will create these constant thoughts, these constant neurotransmitters will be triggering, telling you, you need to eat, you need to eat, you need to eat, because it is in the state of mind of starvation or famine. And so it's going to keep asking you for food. So if you are dieting, or if you're trying to control your eating, or you're depriving yourself of certain nutrients in certain foods, your brain's going to let you know, and it's going to make you have obsessive thoughts about food. So that is one scenario that causes obsessive thinking. The other is when you have become addicted to a substance, and you either eat it or your body is so used to it that it starts craving it. And that may be sugar, it may be high fructose corn syrup, it may be MSG, it may be aspartame, it may be caffeine. Anything that your body has become addicted to, when it's seeking pleasure and it doesn't receive that, it's going to trigger obsessive thinking about that substance. And it's going to start firing off those neurotransmitters telling you, I want that, I want that, I want that. And so you have these two extremes. You have this famine brain that's going to trigger obsessive thinking about food, and you have this addictive brain that's going to trigger obsessive thinking about food. So the trick is to eat for you. You have to figure out what foods feed you nutritionally and give your body what it needs so that it's always in balance, so it's always feeling good, so that you're always feeding it exactly what it needs for its chemically and for all of your physiological functions within your body. And then you need to find out what foods are addictive to you. What foods and what chemicals trigger in your brain the addictive response, or the addictive area in your brain that triggers you to always be thinking about that food and wanting that food and craving that food. And you have to have balance. You've got to eat right for who you are, for your nutritional needs, and stay away from those addictive substances. If you have any questions or you want help with figuring this out, call Totell Wellness. You can find us on the web at totellwellness.com. Hey, thanks.